Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another live stream. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are just over 24 hours away at the time of doing this stream from the Champions League final in Munich. What a game we have in prospect for us in this year's Champions League final. PSG take on Inter Milan. And I, for one, am really debating this. I am really debating this. I've backed Inter a lot since Liverpool got knocked out the Champions League. I thought they may get knocked out by Barcelona because I thought that Barcelona were just playing them at the right time. I've backed Inter a lot, though. I'm so glad they got through. PSG done so beautifully, knocking out three English teams to get to this stage. And of course, their French counterparts in the knockout to the playoff to the knockouts, or whatever it is called. But they have been exciting and exhilarating to watch as well. I am so excited for this Champions League final. I wish my team was in it. Of course I do. But I am so excited for this Champions League final. PSG, Inter Milan. We're going to be previewing it. We're going to be analysing it. We're going to be trying to predict who walks away with the grandest prize in European football. It is going to be an amazing final. There is no doubt about it. Like always with these live streams, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Share the content and get involved in the chat like my brother You'll Never Walk Alone 66 has here. Big up to yourself, bro. Hope you are well. Go and subscribe to this guy's channel. Doing some incredible content over there. Mainly Liverpool stuff. But this guy does know what he's talking about. He did a video, live stream earlier with one Jordan Hyman, a friend of the channel, of course. And he was talking a lot about Liverpool content. So if you like Liverpool content or you like to broaden your horizons a little bit on other clubs, You'll Never Walk Alone 66 is the place to go. He says that I'm doing a live stream later when Frimpong gets announced. Yep, can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting. First one officially done, dusted, and signed, sealed, and delivered right through the door. Cannot wait for that to obviously take place. And obviously, Florian Wirtz, as you mentioned here, is next through the door. Moments ago, it seems, David Ornstein confirmed that a second bid has been officially sent to Bayer Leverkusen by the Reds. I'm excited. I'm honestly under the impression that we are edging ever closer towards getting the here we go treatment from a Fabrizio Romano. I'm buzzing. I am absolutely buzzing with that. Love Florian Wirtz as a player. I think he's going to fit in beautifully with Liverpool. Kirkes next through the door, then a striker, and then a centre-back, and you are then looking at the most perfect of transfer windows you can probably ever imagine. And coming from Liverpool, I never thought I'd see the day where we would have a perfect transfer window. And yet here we are, potentially on the verge of one. It is definitely exciting times to be a Liverpool fan right now. And it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful to be witnessing right now. We've been waiting so long for this. We've been waiting so long for a transfer window like this. And now it seems that we are finally getting it. Frimpong Friday, absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Fingers crossed that goes through the door. If we are to wait, though, I wouldn't be against waiting, putting it off, and then having some sort of, you know how they do the like little signing videos, like there's Frimpong writing his signature on the Liverpool contract, and then he just lobs the pen over, and then Wirtz catches it, does the same thing, lobs it over. Kirkes does the same thing. I wouldn't be against something creative like that, but no, like I say, quicker we can get these through the door, the quicker we can obviously begin next season's preparations with them bleeding into the team, and I absolutely love it. What's your thoughts on Trent unfollowing Liverpool on Twitter and following Real Madrid instead? You know what? As a chapter closes, another one begins. On some level, I wish him luck, but Liverpool moves on. Liverpool is bigger than any one player, whether you are a local lad or whether you are someone that's like an adopted Scouser. It is what it is. We knew this was happening. We knew this was going to happen. It does seem a bit strange as to why he would unfollow Liverpool, but you know, I don't know whether to read too much into that or not, to be perfectly honest with you. But you know, Liverpool moves on, the wheel keeps on spinning, and let's face it, Frimpong, Mamadashvili, Wirtz, Kirkez, potentially a striker, potentially a centre-back. I'm not worried. I'm not too busy there licking my wounds and going, oh no, Trent this, Trent that. I'm looking towards the future and not the past. So fair play for that. And yes, feel free to smash that like button. Really does support me and support the channel. Really does help me as well. And obviously, I greatly appreciate it. We'll never take that kind of stuff for granted from you awesome, awesome people. Right. PSG Inter Milan. Get your predictions in, people. Who do you see winning the grandest prize in European football this weekend? Saturday night in Munich. The French champions are taking on Serie A's runners-up as Luis Enrique goes against Inzaghi for a chance to win the Champions League, a chance at history in the making here. What a game we have in prospect, man. I really cannot wait for this game. You've got the opportunity here of a PSG side that could be on the verge of winning their first Champions League trophy. What a phenomenal achievement that would be. They've just won the French Cup. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but they just won the French Cup. They have obviously like waltzed their way. No, that's not a French dance, but you get what I mean. They have absolutely walked the French league. They won that probably back in, what was it, February, March, maybe even earlier. They've absolutely walked the league. They are on course for the most perfect season that the Qatari ownership over there at PSG have been wanting for so long. They made the final in 2020. They lost to Bayern Munich. Ironically, they are back in Munich tomorrow night. But this time, Inter and Inzaghi are standing in their way of writing their name in the history books of being a Champions League winner. The champions of Europe. The infamous treble could be on the cards on Saturday night if PSG can get past Inter Milan. And standing in their way are Inter Milan. I'm just double checking this because I want to say they are three-time winners. I want to say they are three-time winners of the Champions League. Yes, I was right. I didn't know why I doubted myself. The three-time winners of the Champions League were last seen in the final against Manchester City all the way back in 2023. They were the victim of Pep Guardiola and the treble-winning season of Manchester City that year. The last time they won this competition was back in 2010, the infamous treble-winning year. Jose Mourinho at the helm, incredible players like Diego Milito, Cambiasso, and so on. I am really, really looking forward to this. Again, I wish Liverpool was in this final, but you know what? We are going to see some high quality football. It's going to be a lot better than what last week's Europa League final was. What an absolute train wreck that was. It's going to be much better than Wednesday night's Europa Conference League final. I cannot wait to see these two teams absolutely battle it out for European supremacy on Saturday night. Tiziana Rossi. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I do apologize, bro, if I am butchering that name. I am so not good with names. But welcome along to the stream, my friend. Not 100% sure what that means, but I do appreciate you stopping by and commenting, bro. So welcome along, my friend. What? So, from what I can tell, a lot of people are leaning, or at least from the people that I see, are leaning more towards PSG in this. Now, as far as what team news goes, it seems as though both teams have got a fully fit side to choose from. There's only Kimpembe, I believe, of PSG that is, let me just double check this. I want to get this right because I did make notes on this earlier. Yes. Yeah, it is basically Kimpembe that is the only one that is probably going to be out, banished from the entire side for the majority of this season. Everybody else, though, seems fit and ready to play, seemingly fit to fire. A lot of these players have been rested for this kind of game, and there's big pressure. There's big pressure on obviously Luis Enrique to deliver a trophy that has been eluding PSG for so long. There is a lot of pressure on Inzaghi to redeem himself, especially after seemingly bottling the league to Napoli. They just missed out on the final day of the season, but overall, Inter were in a good position once upon a time earlier on this season to actually go on and win Serie A and win the Scudetto. So it is massive pressure on both of these teams to succeed in this game. Is Inzaghi going to be known as a winner, as a champion, or is he going to be known as a bottler? Is Luis Enrique going to deliver the one trophy that PSG have so wanted and desired for so long? Those are the questions that we are going to be answering on Saturday night when these two teams face off for Europe's biggest competition. I'm intrigued by this. I think we all know the PSG team. I think the only real debate in that PSG team is whether or not it is going to be Desiree Doué or whether it's going to be Bradley Barcola that starts in the attack for PSG. We know that obviously Donnarumma, who has been in such inspired form in this competition, is going to be between the sticks. We know that it's going to be Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, arguably two of the best strikers, fullbacks in world football right now. You know that the heart of the defense speaks for itself in Pacho and Marquinhos, of course. In the midfield, that well-oiled machine, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, and Vitinha, of course, in that midfield. They work so beautifully well together as a trio. It is so technically gifted. It is so good to watch. We know that they are going to be in that midfield area. And then, like I say, Kvaratskhelia is probably going to be nailed on to start alongside, of course, Ousmane Dembele. But it's about that third attacker. Will it be Doué? Will it be Barcola? I think it'll probably be Doué because I think, I say Doué, but it could be that they need a moment of magic to unlock what is going to be a very stubborn Inter Milan defense. So it could be Doué or it could be a bit of creativity. Could be a bit of individualism from Doué. It could be a bit of creativity from Barcola. It's going to be very interesting to see which one Luis Enrique goes with on Saturday night. But I tell you what, it's not a bad alternative to have later on in the game if you want to kind of freshen things up, change things a little bit, bringing one on for the other. It's not a bad replacement and alternative to have. And ultimately for Inter Milan, Jan Sommer in goal. It looks like it's going to be, I can never pronounce this guy's name. I want to say it's Bisek or Bisek. I'm so bad with names. I really do apologize. With a Serbian Bastone making up the back three. As we know, Inter play with a back three. Dumfries on the right. He obviously had an incredible semi-final against Barcelona in which, like I say, he was very much amongst the goal contributions for that game. Barella, of course, is going to be in there. Kalanoglu, Mkhitaryan, DiMarco, of course, on that left-hand side. That's going to be very intriguing to watch how they all work in tandem. And then obviously up front, you've got Marcus Thuram and Lisandro Martinez. It's going to be an exciting final, guys. I really, really... Yeah, did you say Marco? DiMarco, yeah? DiMarco, down the left-hand side, yeah? I think I said Marco. And your Marco, I just got it. I can't believe how slow I was on that. My bad. Very clever, very clever. I was a bit slow on that, but fair play. Welcome along, Marco. Hope you are well, my bro. Love to know what you think about this game. This match is 50-50. I couldn't agree more, bro. I couldn't agree more. I think more people may be siding slightly more towards PSG, but don't rule out Inter. This is what I've been saying for the majority of the tournament. I know last game against Barcelona in the semi-final, I did say Barcelona would win. Simply for the reason that I thought they were catching Inter at the right time. But I've always said, despite the fact that I did go with Barcelona to win, don't rule out Inter, because Inter have been surviving on moments. Inter have been surviving on moments in this Champions League campaign and run that they are on. And moments ultimately are what win you these kinds of competitions. This competition is built upon moments, and Inter have that in abundance. What we are going to be witnessing here is a PSG side that are going to want to have the ball, want to keep on moving it, use their technical ability. A clash of styles, exactly that, mate. Exactly that, what you just said. A clash of styles indeed. And that can often make for some of the best kinds of football matches, where PSG are going to want to have the ball. They're going to want to have possession. They're going to use their technical ability. They're going to flaunt it. They're going to showcase their strengths in that department. But it's about whether or not they can break down an Inter defense, which are going to be happy for PSG to have the ball. They're going to be happy to sit back and go on then, try and break us down. And if you don't, we're going to take the ball off you and we're going to just run up the other end and we're going to try and counterattack you on the transition and score. So I am very much looking forward to this. I think these types of games can often throw out the best types of matches. And let's face it, if what happened in the previous game between Inter and Barcelona was anything to go by, if what happened between PSG and Arsenal was anything to go by, we should be in for an absolute treat in this game. We should be in for an absolute treat watching these two teams play football. These are probably the highest standards in European football right now. I know Inter obviously didn't win Serie A, and fair play to Napoli for doing that, but they are still a very good side. They are still a very good side. And like I say, it's going to be very intriguing to see the chess match that plays out between Enrique and Inzaghi. There are individual battles across the pitch that are going to make for very interesting and exciting viewing. It's kind of like Bastoni against Martinez as a prime example. That midfield battle is going to be so intriguing to watch. Will the experience of the likes of Kalanoglu, Mkhitaryan, Barella play out against the sort of young, technically gifted, up-and-coming midfield of the likes of João Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz. It's going to be very exciting to watch. And then, of course, at the other end of things, you have the three players that I mentioned before, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and then one of Doué or Barcola against that Inter. I think I mentioned Bastoni against Martinez. I need to wake up a bit here, mate. You get my meaning. You get what I mean. There's going to be individual battles right the way across the pitch, and it's going to be about who wins their individual battles. And the key ones are obviously going to be in midfield. It pits together PSG's strongest outlet, in my opinion, their strongest asset in their midfield three against the strong midfield three of Inter's, which may not be exactly the most technically gifted, but they are experienced. They are patient. And that is what has got Inter this far in this competition. Patience. Because they easily could have folded against Barcelona. Especially when Barcelona took the lead for the first time across both legs of that game. When Barcelona did that in the dying stages of the game, that is when Inter could have folded. But they didn't. They held on. They worked hard. They got back into the game late on. They were calm, cool, collected. They took the game into extra time. And then once in extra time, they killed the game off. The experience shined through of Inter on that night. And this is it. This is what it's going to be again. It's a relatively young squad for PSG for the most part. Do they have the experience to get them across the finish line? They have been exceptional in this tournament. They have been absolutely exceptional. The win against Liverpool made people really stand up and take account and take notice of them. The win against Aston Villa proved that it was no fluke against Liverpool. They had really grown as a team. They've grown as a unit. And the changes that Luis Enrique and PSG have made to go from like the Galacticos of like your Messi's, Neymar's and Mbappe's to what they have now, which on star quality alone are nowhere near those three, but they work well as a team. They are a much more well-rounded machine, a much more well-oiled machine than what they previously were. It proved that there was no fluke, that they could handle the pressure, and that this was a completely different PSG team to the one that we've seen in years gone by. And then to keep their nerve against Arsenal, where again, they could have simply bottled it at any given stage. They kept their nerve. They have their goalkeeper to thank a lot for some of the monumental saves that he has made in this tournament, whether it be in penalty shootouts or whether it be from open play. They have been excellent. They have been truly excellent. And let's not forget about Inter as well. They were absolutely solid as a rock in the league phase. They only conceded one goal during that phase of the competition. They got through very convincingly. They beat, I want to say it was Feyenoord. I know it was a Dutch team. I want to say it was Feyenoord. I could be wrong. I think it was Feyenoord, actually, considering Arsenal played PSV. Would have been Feyenoord. They beat Feyenoord in the round of 16 stage. Quarterfinal. Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal, of course. They held their nerve there when a lot of people didn't think they would, especially with Bayern Munich having the likes of Harry Kane there and obviously going well this season under Vincent Kompany, especially in the league. They held their nerve there, and then against Barcelona in that absolutely crazy game in which we were completely spoiled with how entertaining and exciting it was. They managed to keep their nerve there as well. And again, it could have been so easy to have thrown in the towel at any given moment. They bottled two goal leads in both games and managed to come back in the end and then managed to take it to extra time to win that game. It was simply phenomenal as far as what football fans and anybody that was watching that game are concerned. But they got through to the final. I am really looking forward to this. I really am looking forward to this. In terms of who is going to win, who is going to suffer defeat, who's going to end up runners up. This has got all the makings of a very, very, very exciting game. Probably one of the more exciting Champions League finals that we have seen in a very long time. And I cannot wait to watch it tomorrow night when these two teams play out. So prediction time then. Big up Jordan. Big up Jordan. Guys, go and check out Jordan's channel. Doing some incredible stuff over there, reacting to Liverpool news, but he's also doing plenty of watch-alongs as well. So if you're into your football, if you're into Liverpool, if you're into your cricket or your wrestling, Jordan Hyman's YouTube channel is the place to be. So go and check out Jordan's channel. Hope you are doing well, my bro. Let me know what you think about Champions League, my friend. Are you Team Inter or are you Team PSG tomorrow night? Let me know where your loyalties for tomorrow night lie. Further prediction from me then. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Look, I've backed Inter a lot in this competition. I really have backed Inter a lot in this competition. I always say don't rule them out. I always say do not rule Inter out. For all of the reasons that I've previously explained in this video, for the reasons of them surviving on moments, for the want to give up possession and try and say to teams, come and break me down, because you're going to struggle. And then if you do flop, if you do lose concentration, we are going to punish you. I always say, do not rule out Inter Milan. However, the more and more that I've thought about it over the past few days, the more and more that I've seen of both teams over the past few weeks, the form of both teams, the preparation from both teams, I myself am leaning towards PSG. I myself am leaning more towards PSG. And I wasn't like that. At the beginning of the week, I was backing Inter. I was still backing Inter despite all of that. But as the days have gone on, the more and more that I've thought about it, the more and more that I've looked into it more and more, I think I'm leaning more towards PSG, guys. I think I am. And I like Inter. I like Inzaghi. I like Luis Enrique, to be fair. But the more and more that I look into this game, the more and more that I look at the individual battles, the more and more that I look at how both teams play, I think I'm going for PSG. I think I am going to go for PSG. I think history is going to be made. I think PSG are going to win their first Champions League title this year. And I wasn't saying that at the beginning. I don't think anybody was saying that at the beginning, to be honest. And I definitely wasn't saying that when it came to the quarters, the semi-finals. Even when the final was made, I was still backing Inter. But I can't shake the feeling. Can't shake this feeling that this is going to be a first time ever for PSG. Inter are going to lose yet another final. PSG are going to win their first Champions League title this season. I think the PSG are going to do it. And the way that I think PSG are going to do it is because I think their midfield is just so strong. Their midfield is so strong that I think they are just so technically gifted. They are so talented. There's so much quality there that I think the youth of that team will give them the energy to go the full endurance of 90 minutes. even potentially further beyond that to 120 minutes, should, of course, they need it and it goes into extra time. I think the youth of the squad, I think the sort of individual brilliance of the likes of a Kvaratskhelia, a Doué, a Barcola, a Dembele, even like a Fabian Ruiz from time to time, a Vitinha. I think the individual brilliance of them can unlock this stubborn Inter defense. And like I say, the defense may not exactly be great from PSG, but their goalkeeper in this competition this season so far certainly has been. And I'm just a little bit worried that Inter will not score as many goals as what as what PSG do. I'm going live twice today. Verts and Frimpong announcement. Nice one, bro. I look forward to that. Frimpong Friday. You'll never walk alone was in the building. For your Reacts TV, thanks for the raid, my bro. Really do appreciate it. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Both things will always be greatly appreciated. And obviously get involved in the chat. Would love to hear what you have to say on tomorrow night's huge Champions League final. Big up to Fede Chiesa, my guy. Love the name, my dude. Matthew Taylor's in the building as well. You are well, bro. PSG Champions League win. You know what? Like I say, the more and more that I think about it, the more and more that I'm thinking of. I think of agreeing with you, bro. Jordan, obviously, in the building as well. Still, they defend as a whole team, PSG, and their fullbacks have been class. Yeah, their fullbacks have been class. They've probably been the best fullbacks in the league. Well, not in the league, but in the in football this season. Certainly on form, anyway. They have been absolutely incredible. Both Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. So very much looking forward to seeing that. Best Italian team in the Prem. Best team. Jesus. Best Italian in the Prem. Absolutely. Fede Chiesa. I love his new chant, by the way. Oh, it's so, so good. I love his new chant. It is absolutely awesome. I can't get it out of my head, man. Can't get it out of my head. I'm seeing some of the Liverpool fans, or all the Liverpool fans, sing it at the parade the other day. It was absolutely unbelievable. Wish I was there. Big up QT Mods. Hope you are well, my bro. Welcome along to the channel and the live stream, of course. Currently, got ya. I got ya. Doué is unbelievable. He absolutely is, man. He absolutely is. Doué, individual talent-wise, is absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to see him go up against this Inter side because, like I say, this is going to be a clash of styles. This is going to be a complete chalk and cheese type of setup from both teams. So it's going to be exciting to watch how the individual brilliance and talent of a Desiree Doué, of a Bradley Barcola, of a Kvaratskhelia is going to match up to Dumfries, to DiMarco, to Bastoni, to Acerbi. All of those players. It's going to be so exciting to watch, in my opinion. And like I say, these types of clashes make for the best games, I think. Is Mendes available for the final, though? I believe he is. I've been looking at some previews and looking at some just some overall sort of analysis, some sort of previews to the game. And from what I can tell, a lot of saying that he's going to be fit and ready. He's going to be okay to play. So if he doesn't, that'll be a massive, massive miss for PSG. A massive miss for PSG if that is to, of course, happen. But fingers crossed that it doesn't and everybody is fit and firing, because those are kind of the best games, right? We want these types of games to have everybody fit, firing, and available to play. So fingers crossed that he's going to be okay to play. But it does seem like both teams will have full teams at their fully fit squads at their disposal, shall we say. This PSG team seems pretty fearless. In the past, you would see the nerves kick in the latter stages. Not this PSG team. They are heavy favourites. Absolutely, bro. I completely agree with you. And like I say, the bit that I go to is the game against Arsenal. Bukayo Saka scores to get Arsenal back in the game. He misses the chance moments later with an open goal. But I think you would have probably seen in previous years that PSG team bottle it from that point. Maybe it does go into extra time and they lose it there, or it goes to penalties and they lose it there. But this PSG side have gone from strength to strength in terms of their experience and in terms of their belief. You saw that against Liverpool, how much that meant to them to get past a big European giant like them. Then, of course, you see them get past Aston Villa to prove that it was no fluke whatsoever. There was a few nervy moments in that game, but for the most part, they... like I say, they managed to weather the storm in the second half of the second leg. And then against Arsenal, they did well to maintain their position, maintain their composure after Saka had managed to score. And they just grew from there. And now they are one hurdle away from making monumental history. And it's going to be very exciting and interesting to watch how this final plays out. Dumfries has been good in Europe as well. Yes, he definitely had a very, very good semi-final. The goal contributions he had in that semi-final, I think he got like 5 contributions overall for Inter, I think. 2 goals and 3 assists, I believe, in over the course of 100. Well, it would have been 180 plus 210 minutes. So, yeah, I agree with you there. Definitely agree. For Inter, this is their season, though, after missing out on the league. Absolutely. This is going to be big for Inzaghi. This is going to be, is Inzaghi a bottler or is he a winner? That's going to be big. Was he also the manager when they faced Man City? I want to say he was, but memory does not... my memory is not kind to me. My memory is not kind. I want to say he was, but I am not 100% confident that he actually was. He was. He actually was. I was sure he was, but I wasn't entirely confident now that I said it out loud. But yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see. Is he going to be a bottler? Is he going to be a winner? Like I say, the last time we got to a final, 2023 against Manchester City, the year that obviously City went on to become treble winners. They lost 1-0 on that night. Could he go one step further this time around? Like I say, I backed Inter a lot, but I just don't know if this is going to be one step too far, especially when you consider that PSG's attack is frightening. Their midfield is so well-oiled. It is such a well-oiled machine. It's so good. And their fullbacks are probably the best fullbacks in world football right now. And their goalkeeper is in such inspired form in this competition. It is absolutely unbelievable the amount of saves that he's made and what he has managed to achieve. So fair play to them for that. PSG front three are exciting to watch, and they got strength on the bench to switch it up as well. Absolutely. Would you start Doué or would you start Barcola in this game? That seems to be the only selection headache for Luis Enrique. Would you start Barcola or would you start Doué? I feel like Doué's got more individual brilliance in which he can maybe unlock the defense of Inter. But I also think that Barcola's probably got more creativity to play more as a team, to be that creative spark from that wing position. I don't know. Which one would you start? Let me know in the chat which one you guys would go with. How have PSG become better without Mbappe? It's proof that you don't need these star names. Like, don't get me wrong. I think if you add Mbappe to this team, I think with the way that they go about it, he probably still stands out and he's probably still going to be amazing for them. But it's proof that in football, you don't need star quality name, 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 star quality name. You need a team that is going to be just well oiled together. You need a team that is going to work. You may need a bit more individual brilliance in certain areas, but for the most part, if you've got a team that works hard together, buys into the ideology, buys into the philosophy, buys into the system, works well together, almost like they are telepathic with one another, you can enjoy great success. You can enjoy great success. Look at Crystal Palace. They don't exactly have the best team, but they still managed to win an FA Cup. No one really put Liverpool to win the Premier League this year. Guess what? Premier League champions right now. Don't need all of these world-class players. That's why it failed before. That's why having Messi and Neymar and Mbappe failed. Especially when you put them in a Maurizio Pochettino system. The system and the players didn't mesh well together. Right now, you've got players that are working beautifully with the system of Luis Enrique. It's just brilliant to watch. It's just absolutely brilliant to watch. And PSG are fully deserving of everything that they are getting right now. They have truly been excellent to witness and watch this season in the Champions League. Make sure to hit that like button, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. All of those things will be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for being here. It's been brilliant talking to you all. As always, really do appreciate it. Never be taken for granted. You guys are absolutely awesome. Can't thank you enough for the support that the channel is picking up. So thank you. People are talking about the PSG attack, but the midfield outclasses both Liverpool and Arsenal midfield. It is really strong. I don't think Inter have enough. I've maintained this. PSG's midfield is their strongest asset. The one thing that I've always said about PSG, which is why I've never really put them as favourites this season, has been I think they just lack a clinical finisher. I don't think Dembele is that guy to be leading the line for them, in all honesty. And I love Kvaratskhelia. I would have loved him at Liverpool. I know it's probably stating the obvious, but I would have absolutely loved him at Liverpool, right? I just think they're lacking that natural number 9. I just think they're just lacking that natural goal scorer, that killer up front. And I said this. I've pre-recorded a video about Benjamin Sesko going to Arsenal, which will be out later on today. There are reports today seemingly linking Liverpool with a move for Gonzalo Ramos of PSG. Now, I think if that is to happen, I think with the news that has come out about Arsenal going for Sesko, I question why people are dropping out of Victor Gyökeres, right? So I think all of these things are in play, and yet no one is seemingly going for Gyökeres, despite the fact that a lot of people would take him, and a lot of people would want him at their club because he is a proven striker for the here and now, and he's been absolutely phenomenal, whether it be in Liga Portugal or whether it be across Europe. This guy has been scoring goals for fun, right? So let me throw this out there, right? News hasn't broken of this. This is just my theory. Liverpool are linked with Gonzalo Ramos conveniently a day after the likes of Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein have announced that Arsenal are going in and stepping up their interest for Benjamin Sesko. Despite the fact that they were torn between Gyökeres and Sesko, they're going for Sesko, who I think is the worst of the two options. But as a Liverpool fan, I'm glad that they are going with the worst option, in my personal opinion. They go for Sesko. Liverpool go for Ramos. That leaves a gap for PSG. Who do they go for? Victor Gyökeres. And why have Arsenal gone for Sesko? Because Gyökeres has said that he wants PSG. PSG want him. They're waiting for after the Champions League final to get him. Now, again, I'm not saying this is true. I don't have sources on this. The only sources I've got are the ones in my fridge that are like tomato and barbecue. I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. I'm throwing it out there as a scenario. Don't be surprised if tomorrow, after the Champions League final, or sometime next week, Victor Gyökeres is linked with PSG. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know whether you think I'm talking absolute waffle or whether you think that there is some maybe truth behind what I'm saying. But I genuinely think that the one thing that PSG are lacking, maybe other than maybe beefing up and reinforcing that centre-back area, is a natural killer up front. And I think Gyökeres would suit that down to a T. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. What we got here? Is Dembele really in serious contention for Ballon d'Or? What's he done? I guess with the amount that he's won this season, and if he does win the Champions League, that's only going to boost his profile up even more. I guess that might be enough. I don't think there's actually a clear favourite this year. I think you could make a case for a lot of players to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't necessarily agree with what I'm about to say, but again, I think that this would create the most headlines and the most talk, which I think is probably what FIFA want. I think it's going to be Lamine Yamal. I think Yamal is going to be winning it this year. And I think for his age, I think for his talent, I think for his quality and ability, and of course the buzz that is around him right now, I would probably say Yamal is going to be winning it. Just because it creates a massive uproar and a huge talking point that the likes of FIFA can capitalize on. I don't necessarily think that he may deserve it completely, but I can see it happening. I can genuinely see it happening. Gyökeres costs at least 75. See, again, it's not like it's a monumental fee. Especially when you consider like Sesko's potentially going for like 90 odd. Like, it's not a stupid figure. It's not a stupid figure to think about when the guy has been banging in goals for fun, outscoring a number of top strikers from across Europe and the world. It's not a stupid fee if it is like genuinely like 75 million. Like, it's not terrible at all. He does score goals, but you need to play a certain way to cater for him, and a quarter of his goals have been penalties. You've still got to score them, though. You've still got to score them. I think this guy can score any type of goal from any type of chance, and, penalties. So what? Who cares? Like, you've still got to score them. I've seen plenty of players miss penalties. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Penalty goals, for whatever reason, are taxed as not being like proper goals. They are proper goals. They all count. They all are goals at the end of the day. I think Arsenal have done more homework on Sesko, I think, in my opinion. Well, we know that obviously Arsenal have wanted him for so long. So I do agree with you on that. I just don't necessarily see it with Sesko. I don't get what the hype is. I know he's 21. I know he's still got a lot of room to grow and evolve. I just never bought into the Sesko hype, which is why I'm glad that Liverpool, who have been linked with him in the past, are not getting him, and seemingly Arsenal are, because I think Arsenal with Gyökeres are much more scarier than Arsenal with Sesko, in my personal opinion. Do you think Rafinha deserves it more or Yamal? If you had to tell me that I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably go. I can make a case for both. I can make a case for both. I'd probably go Yamal. I would probably go Yamal because of how incredible he is being for Barcelona on all fronts this season. And even in the semi-final, Barcelona may not have got through against Inter, but he was still absolutely phenomenal to drag Barcelona out of that, especially in the first leg, that 2-0 hole that they found themselves in. He doesn't deserve it. I think it's got to be Yamal or Mo for me. I somewhat agree with you. I'm just thinking of it from the way that FIFA would look at it. FIFA don't necessarily look at individual seasons. They tend to look at, well, what have you won? And it's sort of like, well, because you've won all these trophies, you deserve to be in contention kind of thing. But I agree with you. I would love it to be Mo Salah, but it's probably not going to be Mo Salah, unfortunately. The French Ballon d'Or, people would not mind giving it to Dembele if they can. A little bit of bias there. A little bit of a popularity contest, but it's always been that way, in my opinion. It will be hard for Rafinha if Yamal gets it. But yeah, considering Yamal won the Euros, he deserves it. He's had such an incredible past couple of years with club and country. He's been truly phenomenal. He's really burst onto the scene in a monumental way. Like, so huge of him. And like I say, I think FIFA are wanting to create a buzz. They're wanting to create that kind of energy and excitement that the likes of Ronaldo and Messi created. And I think they see that in Yamal. And that's why I think I can probably see, whether it's going to be genuine and legitimate or not, that's why I can personally see Yamal winning it. Because it's going to create a buzz. He'll be 18 years old, obviously. He's 18 years old. It'll be like the first 18-year-old since, I believe, like Michael Owen to win it. So, yeah, I somewhat agree. The Ballon d'Or is French, so I could see Dembele winning it. Again, popularity contest, I agree. If Dembele scores a brace in the final, he might get it. Absolutely. We've still got one game left. And this one game could tilt the scales in Dembele's favour if he turns up and performs and is the difference maker on the night. Who knows? If Yamal does win this year, he will win plenty in the future. Unbelievable player for his age. I love him so much. It's so refreshing to see a player that's not tied down to a system. And Hansi Flick deserves huge credit for that. He's seen this incredible talent, this generational talent. And I know that word gets thrown around a lot these days, but he genuinely is like a one-of-a-kind sort of talent. And basically he's gone, all of these other players need to be put into a system. You, my friend, you don't, because you're special. Just go out there and play football. Go out there, be fearless, do whatever you want. As long as you can justify it, I'm cool with it. Go out there and play football. And Hansi Flick deserves huge credit for not trying to tie him down to a system, for not trying to limit his star quality, his power, his ability. He's just basically gone, go out there and play. Go out there and play. Agreeing with you there. That's why I am saying Yamal is so young. Just give it to Rafinha because Yamal still has time. But then again, Rafinha has been poor in national team. Yeah, Rafinha is just in the wrong era for Brazilian talent. The Brazilian national team, it's so different to what I was growing up with. Chalk and cheese to what I was growing up with. Like, it's Has there been a bigger drop off in talent than what we are seeing right now in the Brazil side? Like, Jesus! But even so, I I somewhat agree. I somewhat agree that obviously Yamal has time on his side. But then again, like I say, do FIFA want to create a monumental buzz? Because Yamal would certainly spark and ignite that. Ballon d'Or is weird. Sometimes it is in October, sometimes in February. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It should be at the end of the year. I thought it was like December, January time, but I to be honest, I don't remember. I really, really don't remember. Especially because they don't. Sometimes they don't really take into account the entire year. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they basically go, well, for the first half of the year, you were great. We'll give it to you. It is what it is. It's very strange. It's very strange. I agree. What's next? What is next? I stopped paying attention to the Ballon d'Or after they cancelled in the year Lewandowski should have won it. That was stupid. That was such a stupid decision. I don't understand why they did it. Football was still continuing. Football was still going on for the majority of leagues elsewhere. And yet they decided to cancel it in the year that Robert Lewandowski should have won it. I agree with you. It was such a dumb decision. Maybe it was because I don't know. Maybe maybe because they weren't going to let either one of Ronaldo or Messi win it. I don't know. But then again, they gave it to Luka Modric the following year. So, or the year after the following year, should I say? I don't know. It was very, very strange. Such a strange decision for everybody involved there. So, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Big up, Udit. Big up, Udit. Hope you are good, my friend. Welcome along to the stream. What if Inter win the Champions League, then race for Ballon d'Or will be more amazing? It would make it more open because I don't think anybody would have had a truly standout year. Again, you could maybe argue one of the Barcelona boys because they won the treble. They do class it as a treble, right? Obviously, not, I know they've won the Copa del Rey. I know they won La Liga. There was something else that they won. I don't know if they can't consider it a treble or not, but a lot of people were saying they do consider it a treble. So what do I know? But yeah, I think it would actually make it a lot more interesting and a lot more open, which again may actually strengthen the case of a Yamal because, again, creates that talking point, doesn't it? Creates the likes, creates the interaction, the views, the content, the everything. AI is saying Dembele is going to win it, and in response to that, Udit, fair play. AI is the worst thing to happen, by the way. AI is terrible. I hate AI. Lewandowski won 7 out of 7 available trophies and he bagged 70 goals in all comps, and then they cancelled it even though all games were still playing. Even if all games weren't still playing, no one was going to match up to this. No one was going to match up to what was happening with Lewandowski that season. He was like a man possessed, even more so than what he originally was. Like, no one was going to match up to what Lewandowski was doing that season. They could have just done it based off of the first half of the year. No one else was matching what Lewandowski was going to be doing that season. So I agree with you, bro. I 100% agree with you. Even Messi on stage said Lewandowski was hard done by. Just a humble guy. He's just a humble guy. And then they made up trophy, Gerd Muller trophy, newly created. When you put it like that, it sounds like it's such like a we messed up, but here's a consolation prize. You know, you know what it's like. Do you remember when Mo Salah probably should have won the Ballon d'Or in, I want to say it was 2019, the year we won the Champions League. It was either the year, or was it it might have been 2018 when we lost the final, actually, because he had a much better season individually. He didn't win an award that year, except one. He won the Puskas Award. He won the Puskas Award, right? That goal that he scored was probably not even his best goal that season. And it certainly was not the best goal in the entire category. They gave him a consolation prize because they wanted to give the Ballon d'Or and the Player of the Year and all the other kind of awards like that to somebody else. Because that goal that Salah scored, it's good. But was it the best goal that year? Was it Puskas Award worthy? Hell no, it wasn't. Hell no, it wasn't. So again, they give consolation awards. They gave a consolation award for the Gerd Muller thing for Lewandowski. They gave a consolation award to Salah for his goal. These awards, I urge you not to take these awards too seriously. Yes, sometimes they do mean something. Yes, sometimes you can justify them, but other times there are certain ones in which you see right through. You can see right through them. So I just encourage you to just kind of see through those kinds of things. I've got to go. Really like the channel. I subscribe. Thank you, bro. I really do appreciate that, my friend. And I hope to see you back again soon for another video or live stream or whatever it may be. I really do appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for taking time out to come to the stream. Really loved chatting with you and talking football with you. So I do appreciate it, my friend. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. You said so true. COVID took Lewandowski's Ballon d'Or. Absolutely, mate. 100%. Mad true stat. Yamal already has as many La Ligas as Ronaldo. Ronaldo only won 2 during 10 seasons in Spain. It's true. Is that legit? Because I know that like Barcelona obviously dominated a lot of La Liga during his time, but I didn't realize he only had 2. I didn't realize he only had 2. I would have thought he had at least 3 or 4. That's mad. That is mad. Salah can also win the Ballon d'Or if they win the Club World Cup. The door is still open. I don't think he will win it. I don't think he'll win it because I think it's. I don't want to say it, and I don't mean anything bad about what I'm about to say, but I think with where he is from in the world, I think I don't necessarily think he'll win it, which is wrong, completely wrong, by the way. I also don't think he'll win it based off of maybe they might nitpick a little bit and go, well, the final few games of the Premier League, Salah didn't really do much. You're not taking into account the bigger picture there. And also, I don't necessarily think it will create that much of a talking point when in comparison to Yamal. I hope I'm wrong. I really wish for Salah to win the Ballon d'Or. It would be absolutely amazing if Salah won the Ballon d'Or, not just for Liverpool, not just for the Premier League, but of course for Salah himself. It would be truly phenomenal for Mo Salah to win the Ballon d'Or. 100%, no doubt about it. But at the same time, I just don't think he will, unfortunately. I just think that Yamal, bigger brand, bigger expectation, bigger potential. I just think Yamal is going to be winning the award. I just think it will be Yamal. And again, that's nothing against Yamal because Yamal's been absolutely sublime. He's been absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I don't know. Were Liverpool ever in for Zielinski? I don't know. There was always rumours about that, wasn't there? There was always rumours that Liverpool were interested in Zielinski, even from like a few years ago. But he's 31 years of age now. That's not going to happen anytime soon. And maybe during when he was younger, wasn't he like injured a little bit? Wasn't he injured for relatively injury prone for a few years? I think maybe that kind of hindered things a little bit on a potential move. I don't know. There was always rumours, though. There was always rumours. Oh, you mean about? I get you. Salah makes as much chance. It's so open because in previous years you can like look at a clear favourite or maybe two favourites. Like last year, for example, Rodri should have been the Ballon d'Or choice. Well, I think Rodri probably should have won it the year before. He actually did go on and win it, but of course he won it last year. But eventually he was the right choice. And last year you could make the argument that Vinicius Jr. should have won it instead of Rodri. Real Madrid certainly felt that way. But yeah, there always seems to be one or maybe two clear favourites. I think this year, you've got about 3 or 4 that you can make a very good argument for to win it. Because no one's run away with like a ton of trophies. No one's run away with being so individually a standout when you consider that 3 or 4 are also standouts. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see which way the voting and all of that stuff goes. But like I say, at this moment in time, I'm leaning more towards Yamal and not necessarily purely based on footballing reasons. Some of them are footballing reasons. His goal output, his goal contributions speak for themselves. His eye test certainly lives up to standard and exceeds expectation, really. But for the brand he's got, for the potential he has, for the buzz around his name right now across the entirety of football, Lamine Yamal is probably the way that they are going to go. And whether that's right or not, I'm not 100% sure. But it's FIFA's award. They've done some strange things in the past, as we've previously mentioned, with consolation prizes and some other strange winners. I don't know. I think they should let a defender and a keeper win sometime. This is what I've been saying for years, bro. I've been saying for years, like, I think the Ballon d'Or needs to either be it needs to be either, what's the word I'm looking for here? Rebuilt, maybe? Or redesigned. We'll go with redesigned, actually. Redesigned is much better. I think the Ballon d'Or needs to be a bit more redesigned because, with the exception of like Luka Modric a few years ago, and of course Rodri, it's always been an attacker. Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo. There have been some top quality goalkeepers and top quality defenders that go under the radar. Now, I know that goalkeepers do have the Yashin Award, which is sort of like their Ballon d'Or. But defenders don't. And of course, the last centre-back or defender in general to win the Ballon d'Or was, of course, a certain Fabio Cannavaro back in 2006, when, of course, he led his Italy side towards World Cup glory. I think defenders and midfielders deserve their own sort of award for this. I'm not saying they can't challenge, but I think they deserve their own award, especially if you're going to give the Yashin Award for goalkeepers. that Emi Martinez has won for the past couple of years. I feel like you are right in terms of a defender and goalkeeper, and maybe even like defensive midfielders as well, should have their own individual awards, because otherwise it's not fair. I do feel like FIFA do prioritize goals and assists. Well, you're not really going to get many goals and assists as a defender or a DM or a right back or a left back. You're not going to get that many. So you're never going to probably win it, because you're probably going to be overshadowed by the attacker, the striker, the winger that is on a stupid amount of goals and a stupid amount of assists in very few appearances. So I do feel like the Ballon d'Or does need to be redesigned. I do feel like we may need to introduce more awards to obviously praise and give the spotlight to defenders. And I've been saying that for years. So I 100% agree with you that should definitely happen. It's a little unfortunate that they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I mean, take, for example, Virgil van Dijk, 2018, 2019. I can't remember which one it was. Virgil van Dijk finished second behind Lionel Messi. Now, I'm not saying Lionel Messi didn't have a great season in that campaign, but what I am saying is Van Dijk probably would have been the way to go that season, because he was just so imperious. He was so good at everything and anything that he tried and that he did. And he probably did deserve to go on and win. But if I remember correctly, that may have been Messi's final season at Barcelona. I want to say that was his final season at Barcelona that year. I could be wrong. Again, I say these things out loud because they're in my head. And then as soon as I say them, I doubt myself. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right, but I'm not 100% sure on this one. My memory is so bad. I want to say it was his final season at Barcelona. He just won the league. Perfect fairy tale send-off at Barca. And he wins the Ballon d'Or. I don't think he won it. Did he win it whilst at PSG, other than obviously the year? I might have got my years mixed up here. I think I got my years mixed up. I think he was still at Barca a year or two after. No, this is going to do my head in. I've got to look it up. Messi left in 2021. He won the Ballon d'Or in that year. '19. I got my years mixed up. Right. So Van Dijk finishes second in 2019. Messi leaves a couple of years after. Okay, got it. Cool. This is what happens when you get old and your memory goes, and you just get everything. You get your days mixed up, you get your months mixed up, and you get your years mixed up. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old. But yeah, Van Dijk probably should have won it that year. Van Dijk probably should have won the Ballon d'Or that year, and it would have been phenomenal, not just, again, for Liverpool, for the Premier League, and for him personally, but it would have been phenomenal for every defender out there, that it is possible to break that kind of stranglehold that both Ronaldo and Messi had on that Ballon d'Or over the year. I know the year before Modric did win it, but again, the stranglehold that Messi and Ronaldo had on it was terrifying. Modric broke that streak, and somewhat deservedly so. But again, Messi wins it back the year after. It would have been phenomenal if Van Dijk did. It would have been phenomenal if Van Dijk did, especially for a defender. The first defender, like I say, since 2006, Fabio Cannavaro, to do it. Van Dijk should have done it. But that's just me. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. Yes, back to the topic at hand then. Back to the topic at hand. PSG, Inter Milan. I'm going with PSG. I am going with PSG to win. I'm going with PSG to win. I'm going with PSG to win. I have backed Inter so much. And I like Inter. I like Inzaghi. I like their team. I like the way they play. They're different. They're unique. But I just can't shake the feeling that PSG, with their goalkeeper, two best fullbacks currently in world football right now, arguably the best three in midfield that you can find on a technical level that work so well together, and with a frightening, terrifying attack, I'm going with PSG. I'm going with PSG. Don't rule out Inter. Of course not. Do not ever rule out Inter. Rule out Inter at your own peril. Because this team does thrive on moments. And if they can take theirs, and if PSG don't, then of course Inter will be crowned champions. However, Inter, I know they have the experience. I know they have this sort of unique want to give up possession. They like to play on the transition. They like to play on the counter-attack. I just think there is too much individual talent and quality, too much individual skill, flair, creativity on PSG's side that they should have no problem in breaking down this Inter defense and scoring one or two goals. Either way, I am anticipating one hell of a game. I am anticipating an exciting, proper game of football that I, for one, cannot wait for. I really, really cannot wait for what is about to happen in this game. I'm very much looking forward to it. Very much waiting in anticipation for tomorrow's game. PSG versus Inter Milan in Munich, Champions League final for the 2025 competition. And I'm going to say (3-2) PSG. I'm going to say 3-2 PSG. I think it's going to be one of them games where I think Inter strike first. I think PSG are going to be a little nervous at the beginning. And then as the game goes on, they'll grow into the game. And they'll get back into it. They'll score one. They'll score a second just before half-time. About midway through the second half, I think they'll get a third. And then Inter will grab a late goal back to make it a very interesting and very exciting final 10 minutes or so. But PSG will eventually hold out. I'm going for goals galore. I'm going 3-2. I'm going for PSG to make it a first Champions League title in their history. In their history. If Inter strike first, it will be an uphill battle for PSG. I somewhat agree. I think Inter will start the better of the two, but I just think as the game takes over, I think the technical ability of PSG will shine through, and I think that eventually they will get to grips with the game. They will get to grips with the occasion, the atmosphere, and everything else. And I do think that they'll get back into the game. Inter start fast as well. Let's not forget, Inter start fast. 45 seconds or around about there were on the clock when, of course, Marcus Thuram opened the scoring against Barcelona in the semi-final. So I'm still sticking with that 3-2 prediction. PSG better score first, and then still Inter will be in the game. Yeah, Inter will still be in the game. This is not going to be a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. It's not going to be easy for either side, no matter what happens. But I just think that Inter will start off strong, as they did against Barcelona in both games. They'll start off strong, and they will give up possession. They'll go 1-0 up. They'll give up possession. They'll allow PSG to have the ball, see if they can break them down. But I think the onslaught from PSG, the youthfulness, their energy, their technical ability, I think might be too much for PSG to handle. I am going for a solid, boring 2-0 win for Inter. I somewhat hope you're right, bro, because I really do like Inter, and I really have backed them a lot in this competition. But I for one, I can't see PSG not scoring. In all honesty, I can't see PSG not scoring. And secondly, I don't know if I would fully trust Lautaro Martinez. I think I've referred to Martinez in this stream as Lissandro, which is a complete and utter stupid moment if I have. I do apologize if I have. You knew I meant Lautaro. But now that I think about it, I probably have referred to him as Lissandro, which is... Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God, if I have, that's stupid of me. But yes, I'm going 3-2 PSG. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow's game. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I wouldn't mind if I'm wrong. I wouldn't mind at all if I'm wrong. I'm looking forward to this. Why not trust Martinez? He is good. He has been in this competition. He has. I just think there's just something about him that he's a very, very good striker, in my opinion. But there's just something about him that I don't know what it is. I don't honestly know what it is with him. There's just something about him that I wouldn't fully trust. I wouldn't fully, especially not in like an atmosphere and an environment like this. Tomorrow night, he probably could score a hat-trick, and I could be sat here going, I'm a clown. Why are you guys following me? I know nothing about what I'm talking about. I genuinely could. Like, I don't know what it is. There's just something about him that I'm not 100% sure or 100% sold on, in all honesty. I think he's very, very good. I think he is very, very good. But there's just something about him. There's just something about him. I don't know. Remember what he did in the stadium against Bayern the other day? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I get it. Yeah. I remember. I completely remember. And it was a truly incredible finish. It's a truly incredible moment in PSG's Champions League campaign. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit nitpicky. Maybe I'm just a bit, I'm not sure. I just think he has a tendency, maybe in big moments, to sort of bottle big moments. Was it? No, it was Lukaku, wasn't it? I was about to say it was him in the Champions League final a couple of years ago that missed a couple of big chances for Inter. It was actually Lukaku, wasn't it? Lukaku had a stinker that game. An absolute stinker from Lukaku in that game. But yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm going 3-2 PSG. Again, I am looking forward to what should be one hell of a game of football. That's true. Marcus Thuram, been in very fine form this season. I think he plays better through the centre. Plays better through the centre than he does from a wing position. So, yeah, Thuram, definitely one to look out for. is Marcus Thuram. But we're going to end it there, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in, got involved in the chat, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Inter just missed out on the title because of Bissek. I don't think you can maybe scapegoat one player, but he was a contributing factor, shall we say. Contributing factor. Yes, thank you everybody who joined in on the live stream today. Thank you to everybody that's hit the like button and subscribed if you are new. Really do appreciate it, guys. Cannot thank you enough for the amount of support that the channel has obviously got. Thank you to everybody who got involved. Thank you to everybody that liked the video, that subscribed, that got involved in the chat. Thank you for the raid from Footy Reacts. Absolutely amazing, top man from you. Absolutely loved it, my friend, and thank you so much for that. Thank you to everybody that contributed, to the likes of Marco, to Matthew, to Chiesa himself, apparently. You'll Never Walk Alone 66, John, and everybody else who I am forgetting off the top of my head. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Bissek made handball last second, and gave away a penalty, which cost 2 points. Those 2 points would have had them ahead of Napoli. But yeah, obviously not only him. Yeah. I mean, like I say, with those kinds of moments, it's like if that happened earlier on in the season, you probably wouldn't necessarily remember it like you do because it's recency bias. It's like when Liverpool lost the title to City when Gerrard was still playing, and obviously the Gerrard slip is what everybody remembers. If Gerrard's slip happens first game of the season, no one necessarily remembers it, but because it happened in such a key moment, everybody remembers it and says that's the reason why Liverpool bottled the title. It wasn't. Like, there was a lot more contributing factors than just Gerrard slipping. And in this situation, again, there's more contributing factors to Bissek's handball. Again, just because it happened in a key moment, you remember it more. But yeah, it's just the way that recency bias plays into effect, and on obviously things like that go. It's like me personally blaming Gerard Martin for us not being in the final. I get it, bro. I get it. Like I say, you can pick on individual moments, but overall, sometimes, not every time, but sometimes there are bigger factors at play, or more contributing factors at play than just one particular moment. But I completely understand where you are coming from. Right. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this live stream. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. You guys are absolutely awesome. Cannot thank you all enough for the support that you've given me and the channel. So thank you. I don't blame Araujo. I also blame Araujo. Jesus, I'm so bad with names. Araujo and Yamal. Yeah, I think you should have took it into a corner, wasted some time. Yamal went for glory, hit the post. If it had gone in, of course, we would be all praising him. But I think some game management there from everybody was definitely needed in that moment. I'm still traumatized, and this final opens the wounds. It's mad. Can I just say, just to kind of end this on, it's mad that you're saying you're traumatized when you've just come out of winning a treble-winning season, my bro. I know it could have been more, and I know that you probably sat there thinking we should have had more, but at the same time, you've still had a very successful season, and it's just bizarre to think, yeah, I'm traumatized because we didn't win a Champions League. I'm going to go and cry tears into the other 3 cups that I've won this season. But I get your point. It's just a bit of a joke there. I love it though. And I rate it as well because, like I say, Liverpool should have had more this season. So I do get where you're coming from. We should have had a Carabao Cup. We probably should have done more in the FA Cup. So I do understand where you're coming from, my friend. So, yeah, fair play to you. These are just all the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions. Mainly your predictions, though, because after all, this is a preview video. So get your predictions in down in the chat, down in the comments for tomorrow night's big Champions League final. Are you team PSG or are you team Inter? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in that comment section. Otherwise, like I say, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all for your continued support to the channel. Thank you to everybody who contributed today to today's stream, whether it be through liking, subscribing, sharing, rating, as what Footy Reacts did, or getting involved in the chat. All of those things greatly appreciated. They really do mean the world to me, and I cannot honestly thank you guys enough. Because it was Lewandowski's last opportunity too, unless he wins it next year. You'll have a very good chance, bro. You'll have a very good chance. I think if you reinforce in a couple of positions, I think Barcelona will have a very good chance. Unless, of course, Hansi Flick gets found out and he doesn't react. That's the only concern I would have. But for the most part, you've got a very good team building there. You've got one of the most exciting players in world football right now. I think you'll be fine. I think you will be fine. Thanks, everybody. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Got a Benjamin Sesko video dropping tonight at some point, maybe around about 5 o'clock time. We're talking Sesko. We're also talking a little bit of Gyökeres in that as well. So do stay tuned for that. And I'll be back with some more footballing content. And whenever it breaks, whenever I get the time to do so, whenever. So, yeah, big up tomorrow night's Champions League final. We shall see what happens in that. And I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care of yourselves. And I will see and speak with you all again soon, very soon.